If you've booked a cruise, you're probably growing increasingly aware of how much things are going to cost on the ship. From speciality meals and upcharge restaurants to spa treatments, there are so many added extras that you can choose when you cruise. Did you know that there are also so many things that you can get for free on most cruise ships? In this video today, I'm going to share 14 of those things with you to hopefully help you get the most value out of your future trips. If you enjoy this video today, and if you find it useful, then please do support my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. Now let's start with the first of 14 things that you can get totally for free on most cruise ships. You've boarded your cruise ship, you look at your suitcase, and you realise that it's damaged. Well, did you know that most cruise ships out there will repair any damaged luggage totally free of charge? This is something that I came across on a recent cruise when my bag got damaged during the embarkation process. All I had to do was speak with the guest services team, and over the course of the cruise, they repaired the bag to what felt almost like a brand new suitcase. I was so pleasantly surprised that that was something the ship's maintenance team could do, and I was also surprised that it was free of charge. If you've got something like a broken zip on your luggage, for example, then why not take it down and speak to the team at guest services and see if there's anything they can do. It's worth mentioning here that the priority will always be given to any passengers who have had a bag damaged, perhaps by the cruise line as a result of embarkation, for example. But if you've got a minor defect, maybe a damaged wheel or a wheel that's come off, then why not take your bag down and see if you can just simply add on to a waiting list so that when the maintenance team have the time to look at your bag, they could do that before you have to pack it to leave the ship. Second, mattress toppers and pillows. One of the most important aspects of any cruise is your bed. At the end of the day, if you're not sleeping right, it could very quickly become a massive problem. I've never had any issues with the actual bed in my cruise ship cabin before, but I've met so many people who have had to request things like mattress toppers to make the mattress a little bit more comfortable, or different pillows, because the pillows that they're used to sleeping with at home are a different firmness level than what they're getting on the ship. For example, most cruise lines will offer both of these things totally free of charge. All you have to do is speak to your cabin or stateroom attendant as early in the cruise as possible, and they can sort it out for you. Number 3, and this one is so important to so many people. The third of my list of 14 things that you can get for free on most cruise ships is more food in the main dining room. Over the years, cruise lines have back and forthed on what you can and can't order in cruise ship dining rooms. Some allow you to order a starter, a main, and a dessert, or one of each courses, depending on how many they have. Others then allow you to order additional of each course. In my experience, I find that the majority of cruise ships out there will try to limit you to one main course per meal, but they will allow you to order additional starters or appetizers and also desserts. That means that if you are, for example, cruising as a couple and you'd like to order additional starters or additional desserts to then have one each plus share, it's really not an issue. I have been on cruise ships in the past where people at tables have ordered 2 or 3 starters or appetizers each, and they've actually done the same when it's come to dessert. All you have to do is speak to the maitre d' in whichever cruise ship main dining room you're going into to understand what you can and can't do. There are cruise lines much more recently who allow you to order additional main courses, but they do come with an upcharge, whereas the appetizers or the starters and the desserts can be added complimentary. Number 4, staying on the topic of food, did you know you can usually get ice cream free of charge on most cruise ships? The majority of cruise lines now will offer ice cream as a pay extra treat. For example, from an ice cream bar somewhere on the ship. You can usually, if you're careful, also get ice cream for free elsewhere on board. For example, these cruise ships might offer soft serve ice cream from a machine at the buffet up on the Lido deck. That means that you're able to go to the machine whatever time of day you want an ice cream, pull the lever, and that's exactly what you'll get. You can also find that most cruise ships will offer scoops of ice cream during meal times. Therefore, if you don't want to pay for the ice cream, you're probably going to get it free of charge either elsewhere on the ship, maybe in a different form, or free of charge during meal times. Fifth, toiletries. If you've forgotten to pack, for example, a toothbrush, toothpaste, a razor, shaving foam, it can be really, really annoying when you open your toilet bag to realise these things aren't there. The logical thing to do might be to go down to the onboard shop where you can pick all of these things up. However, in my experience, that can be a pretty expensive shopping trip, especially if you've forgotten to pack a couple of different items. What I usually find works best is to go to guest services, ask if they have, for example, a toothbrush and toothpaste or an amenity kit that you can take, and that's usually enough to get you by until the next port of call. That means that rather than go to the shop on board and spend quite a lot of money on something simple like a toothbrush, toothpaste or shaving foam, you can use whatever minimum is in that amenities kit, and you can then buy from a supermarket the next time you go ashore. Now, it may be that what's in that kit is perfectly fine to get you to the end of the cruise, but in my experience, it's usually enough for a night or two, and I would usually then try and buy the brand that I prefer of whatever it is I've forgotten when I go ashore. Number 6, if you wake up in the morning on your cruise and it's raining outside, don't worry, because lots of cruise lines out there will offer you the ability to request a complimentary poncho to keep you dry. I've seen in the past from 3 different cruise lines that all I've had to do is speak to my cabin attendant and lo and behold, a poncho has appeared in my cabin. I had no idea that cruise lines offered this sort of thing free of charge, but all I've done is been in light conversation with my cabin attendant. We've discussed the weather. I've said that tomorrow it looks like it's going to rain, I don't have a jacket, and suddenly a poncho appears in the cabin. You can also speak to guest services, for example, who should be able to help you out. Now, not every cruise line will offer things like ponchos, and some of them will apply a small charge to your account, but the cruise lines that I've got these ponchos from previously haven't charged me anything. Number 7. Drinks. People often think it's not possible to get anything complimentary to drink while on board a cruise ship. Most cruise ships out there will offer you things like filtered water, tea, and drip coffee, which are available 24 hours a day up at the buffet restaurant. And there you can go to a self-service counter, you can then pull your own coffee, you can pour your own water, no issues at all. Some cruise lines will also offer complimentary fruit juices or infused waters. It just depends on who you're cruising with. If you're thinking about speciality drinks though, believe it or not, it is possible on cruises to get free beer, free wine, free cocktails, and sometimes even free spirits. What you want to do to get those drinks is attend organised events like, for example, a loyalty reception, which you'll get invited to the more you cruise, or maybe things like a captain's welcome. So many cruise lines now will have a captain's welcome event where the captain of the ship will welcome you on board. During that address, there's usually a cheers for a safe cruise, and in order to cheers, everybody kind of needs a drink. That means that the cruise line will usually give you a complimentary drink when you go into the captain's welcome. It's worth remembering if you don't have a drinks package. So yes, don't worry, it's possible to get non-alcoholic things at the buffet free of charge, and it's sometimes also possible to get alcohol too. Number 8, very different topic now, but we're moving on to talk about stationery. Did you know that most cruise ships will offer you some form of complimentary stationery that you can use while on board the ship? Now, before you get too ahead of yourself, you're not going to be able to save money at home by furnishing your home office with everything from the ship. Not at all. But if you're looking for pens, paper, envelopes, things like that, is going to be absolutely no problem to just nip down to guest services and borrow or take from there. One piece of stationery that really impressed me on a cruise I took recently was postcards. I was really surprised to see that guest services were offering postcards free of charge. These postcards featured the fleet that I was cruising on, so it was Fred Olsen Cruise Lines, And when you looked at the front of the postcard, it had the 3 ships on it, and then all you had to do was purchase a stamp, which you could do, again from guest services, to send to friends and family back home. So it's well worth asking if you need something stationery-wise while you're cruising, just pop to guest services and you might be pleasantly surprised. Number 9, if you want a free massage, then did you know you can get one during your cruise? Now, unfortunately, you can't get a free 1-hour massage, but what most cruise ships out there will offer is a complimentary taster massage where you can go and sample the massage experience for 5 or 10 minutes to see if it's something you'd like to purchase in the future. Now, maybe you're cruising with someone who's never had a massage before, or maybe you just want to see what it would be like on board a cruise ship. Well, why not drop into the spa and see if they offer complimentary massages, or check your daily schedule, which should be delivered to your cabin every night, or it'll be on your cruise line mobile app, because the ships that offer that usually will have it as an event where you can go to the spa or you can go poolside to get your taster massage to see if it's something which you'd then like to book. Next, staying on the topic of spa treatments, did you know that you can sometimes get free spa vouchers or free spa treatments during your cruise? Well, I certainly didn't, and in fact, I began my cruising career thinking that the event that people go to in the spa on embarkation day was a bit of a scam. However, I took a cruise with one of my friends who then won a $100 voucher to spend at the spa, which meant that she got a totally free spa treatment. All you have to do is, usually around the same time as sail away on day 1 of your cruise, is go to the introduction to the spa event. That might mean that you go for a tour of the spa. You then probably will get a presentation from the people who are working in the spa, all about the facilities, the treatments on offer, so on and so forth. And at that point, they will usually draw a raffle from all of the names of all of the people who are in that room. If, in my friend's case, you are the lucky person whose name comes out that box, then you can look forward to signing up to a totally free of charge spa treatment. So yes, massages, okay, fine, you can go and get your taster massage, but remember, on some ships, free treatments are sometimes available as a result of a raffle. 11, and this one might be important to you if you've perhaps never taken a cruise before, or if sometimes you can feel a little bit unwell with the motion of the ocean. Did you know that most cruise ships out there will offer complimentary or free of charge seasickness medication, especially if it's known that the weather is going to get rougher that day or that night? This is something that, again, I had no idea cruise ships offered until I had friends who recently took a cruise with Virgin Voyages. The captain announced that it was going to be rougher weather the following day and that seasickness medication would be available from guest services, or in Virgin Voyages speak, sailor services. All that my friends had to do was go down to guest services and get a couple of tablets that they could then take the following day. I was really surprised, and the more research that I've done on this topic, and the more I've checked on the cruises I've taken recently, the more I've realised that this is actually fairly common practice across the industry. I guess from a cruise line's point of view, if they offer free motion sickness or seasickness medication, that means that more of their passengers are going to be fit and well and able on a sea day, meaning that rather than lying horizontal in their bed in their cabin, they're going to be up, enjoying the facilities on the ship, and perhaps most importantly for these cruise lines, spending money. So yes, I always recommend taking your own seasickness medication with you, but if you forget, don't worry, because it would appear that so many cruise lines will offer it free of charge. Number 12, now we're going into the casino, and I bet nobody was expecting to get anything for free from the casino, but did you know that casinos on board cruise ships will usually offer free or complimentary gaming lessons? These will usually take place either towards the start of the cruise, before the ship leaves the port and the casino can open, or on a day when the ship is docked in port. While a ship is docked, or while it's in the process of sailing out, the casino isn't able to open for various reasons. That means that the dealers can use their energy and focus their attention elsewhere. What a lot of cruise lines now do is offer these free gaming lessons to bring passengers in, to teach them how the casino works, to show them the table games, to teach them how they work, in the simple hope that it will then tempt them to come into the casino when it's open later in the cruise. That, of course, then means that you will try your luck with $10, $20, maybe even more, and that then becomes a revenue stream for the cruise line. So it does make sense to offer free gaming lessons if these people who are learning to play then come into the casino later in the cruise. So yes, number 12, free gaming lessons. You'll find them in so many cruise ship casinos out there. Number 13, and if you take one thing away from this video, I'd like it to be this. I see so many people who have packed their own personal pool towels or beach towels to bring onto their cruise. Did you know that every cruise ship I've ever been on, and that's quite a few, I've taken over 50 cruises now, every single ship has given free pool or beach towels to use on the ship, but also to take off the ship with you. That means that if you are on a warmer weather itinerary and you're hoping to get off the ship to spend some time at the beach, then don't worry, you're going to be given a towel that you can take with you. That then frees up lots of space in your luggage that you're travelling with, and it's just one less thing that you have to carry to the port. You'll be given these towels either in your cabin or stateroom, or you might find if it's a day in port, you'll have a towel station down at the gangway. Most cruise lines will take your cabin or stateroom number in exchange for a towel. And in that case, it's so important that you remember to bring your towel back, because if you don't return your towel, then you're going to find that there'll be a charge on your account. That, on some cruise lines, can be fairly expensive. So if you don't want to be billed for taking a towel that you haven't brought back, then yes, okay, you can bring your own, but the simple answer is just use the free ones on the ship, because from what I've seen, they're all really good quality and you're not going to leave it on a beach or by a pool ashore. Anyway, number 14. The next thing that you can get for free on most cruise ships are things that come as a result of loyalty benefits. Now, if you're new to the cruise industry, then let me explain. But most cruise lines operate with a loyalty program. In short, the more that you cruise, the more points that you build up, the more points you have, the more benefits you get in return. Now, when I started cruising, I didn't really see the benefit because I was looking at these loyalty programs and thinking, yeah, okay, I'll probably never get 40 or 50 or 60 nights with a cruise line. But the more that you cruise, the more surprised you will be at the fact you're building up these status levels. If you look at a cruise line like MSC Cruises as an example, the higher levels of their loyalty program are able to claim meals in speciality restaurants, free bags of laundry, discounts on things like photo packages or Wi-Fi packages. They can even get complimentary access to the thermal suites on the ships. It's a loyalty program that actually does give you quite a lot back. And I would say the same about multiple of the cruise line programs. Some people would look at it and think, nah, it's not worth my time joining the program. But once you're joined, all you have to do is book a cruise. So what better way to be rewarded than by simply booking another cruise? So yes, number 14, in order to get the free things that come with the loyalty program, just make sure that you've signed up. And that's it. That's 14 things that you can get totally free of charge on most cruise ships. Let me know if I've missed anything, or if there's anything else that you've seen out there across the industry from any cruise line that you would add to the list. Now, I really hope you've enjoyed this video today, and if you have, I would love you to come and join me in another one. Over in this video, I share with you 10 things that you need to do as soon as possible after you've booked your cruise. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you over there.